I'm going to pre-warn you that Neptune's Lagoon is raw. He may say some things that you may feel is rabid racist.
See African Homo erectus down here that looks somewhat like Don Cheadle or something, but it has listed as African Homo erectus, but what they mean by that is sub-Saharan. That Western sub-Saharan Africans, or Congoids, as they're called sometimes, don't actually have the same genetics as anyone else on the planet. In fact, up to 19% of their genetics is shown to be something that no one else has on the planet.
Neptunes Lagoon is a lying racist pseudo-scholar.
Then how could we be less than 1% different than each other when it shows you that we're up to 19% different? And they have a ghost hominid DNA that no one else on the planet has.
But a lie hides within. And it's being used to build up a bigger lie that, like I said, is going to cast a certain population of people in a negative light. Everything he said before ghost species is true. But then he lied about what ghost species actually means. The term ghost species means that this is a species that we only know about through DNA. A ghost species does not mean an organism is super archaic, which means super primitive, super ancient. These are racist implications. These are fueling the white supremacy.
Now, looking at this, it shows modern Africans had mated with Homo erectus heidelbergensis, it's thought, but it's still listed as a ghost hominid because they haven't been able to get any DNA out of Homo erectus.
The published paper that discusses this ghost DNA specifically says the ghost species branched off from our family tree around the same time as the species that led to the Neanderthals and the Denisovans did. So realistically, this hominin species was no more primitive than the Denisovans or the Neanderthals, which he acts like they're more advanced. And remember, the fractioning that led to those different species was caused by the climate, so it makes sense that within Africa, there were populations that became isolated too. One of the main competing models to the Out of Africa model was the multi-regional model, an idea that modern human races all evolved from separate species of humans that evolved in different environments before more recently blending back into one, and then that blended group, that was sapiens. While parts of that were true, we did blend with other species. The part that tries to connect that to racial differences isn't true at all. A lot of the things we think about when we think about racial differences, those came to be much more recently because populations are always evolving.